Hey everybody, Blaine Austin here at Sewing Machines Plus, and welcome to the Thursday live show. And this has been a 3-day series with Grace, and we're happy you're here. If you haven't seen all 3 days, if you missed Tuesday and Wednesday, you can go back on our YouTube channel and check those out. We encourage it because we've had a little series, basically where we've started a quilt from the start, and we're going to finish one today. And but before we get too deep into the show, I got to say a shout out some of the SMP Nation watching this today. It's Ann Phil back in Virginia watching. We have Leslie Gardner in Texas, Cheryl Cap in Colorado, Nina H in Colorado, DB in Kentucky. And today we have Jana Matthews from Grace, and we're going to have Sabrina. She's been the star of the video doing all that. She's going to be live in the Grace studio today, and so we'll get a chance to speak with her. But before we do that, I want to tell you about some dates we have coming up. Now, again, every Thursday. Now, this week was an exception. We started on Tuesday because it was a 3-day series. But every Thursday we have an SMP live, and we're going to bring you, all kinds of guests and different projects we're going to do. And then I got to talk to you about the Floriani Total Control Summit. This is a very unique event. It's a one-of-a-kind. Jennifer Gigas and I, she's been on our show. We were talking on the phone, and I said, I want to do some sort of great virtual event to help people digitize. Now, digitizing is not just limited to embroidery. You can actually use digitizing even in quilting because you can create your own designs and things. So this is a really great event that we've put together. It's going to be a 3-day event. It's August 14th, 15th, and 16th. And we're going to have, Trevor Conquergood. I think everybody knows Trevor. And he's just one of the best out there. And then we have Laurie LaGrange is going to be on as well. She's going to actually do 2 of the days, and she's going to take a deep dive into digitizing. Now, what's great about this, there is a charge for this. It's $199 to sign up for this, and you can actually go sign up on SewingMachinesPlus.com website. At the very top of the page, you'll say classes and events. Click on that. That'll take you to the event page, and you'll see the thumbnail that says the 3-day summit. It's Total Control Summit. Click on there, and you can go sign up from there. Now, here's the great thing about it. It's $199. You're getting the 3 days of the education. However, you're getting a swag bag that we're sending out that basically is way over value than the $199. I mean, you're getting a Floriani thread kit, and originally we were saying it was a 10 excuse me, that was a 10 spool thread kit. We've upped the ante. Now it's a 17 spool thread kit. So you're getting 17 spools of Floriani thread. You're getting a USB stick that has 200 embroidery designs on it. And those, if y'all go out and try to buy designs, they're about, anywhere from $4 to $5. So think about that. That's $1,000 worth of email designs. You're getting a Trevor Trove, and it's a digital download that you get. And then you're also going to get a link emailed to you with your email confirmation, with a link to go download the trial version of the TCU so you can follow along when Laurie's doing her class. You're also going to get a black serger tote bag. You're getting an event bag from SMP. You're getting a $25 gift card from SMP. You're getting a magnetic pen cushion. You're getting a notepad and pen. You're getting a pen light and stylus. You're getting a 4 gigabyte flash drive, an SMP version. You're going to get a Sewing Machines Plus cup, and you're getting a Sewing Machines Plus personal care kit. So it is packed full of goodies for you, and they're actually shipping those out today. The people who have already signed up, we're shipping those today out to you, so you'll have those. So it's just going to be a great event. So I encourage y'all to go. If you have any idea that you've ever wanted to digitize, go sign up for this. This is going to be a great event. And then I got to talk about September 9th through the 13th. It is So Fest. And man, I can't say enough about So Fest. This is going to be a great event. And I say that about all of our events. But we've done a lot of work for this one, and we're going to have, naturally, we're going to be streaming live for 5 days, about 7.5 hours each day. But we're going to have so many great education sessions this time. We're going to have 2 educational sessions per day. They're 30 minutes each, so it'll be 1 hour a day. So you're getting 5 hours of education per day. And I tell you what, I've went out and got the best educators that I could find, and we're teaching things from how to put zippers in to just all kinds of techniques and different things for all facets of sewing. Whether it's serging, whether it is embroidery, quilting, or sewing, we're going to cover all those different areas. We've got some quilting classes, some serging classes, some embroidery classes. So it's going to be pretty good, and I'm really excited about that. And then we're going to have demonstrations throughout the day on different products, and every one of the products will be on some sort of special, whether it's a on-screen special or a call-in special. So you're going to be able to save some money on some products on SewFest. So it's going to be pretty awesome. And then naturally, we're having our contest. So if you're, wanted to ever make a garment, or you're a garment sewer, this is going to be your opportunity to kind of show off your work. You can send your pictures of your garment in and enter it for the contest. Now, you can go right now. I think we have it up. It is at SewingMachinesPlus.com under the events tab at the top of the page. And you can go find the thumbnail once you click on that page of SewFest. It'll take you to the product page, and then you can actually read the rules of all you have to do to enter your garment. Once all the entries are in and submitted, we'll cut that off, and then we're going to open it up for voting. And we're going to have the People's Choice Award, which is basically you just going out and trying to find anybody you can to go vote on yours, all your friends and people you know. And whoever gets the most votes wins the People's Choice, and they get a prize. However, the prestigious one is the Judge's Choice. And this is going to be the best of show. We're going to give the top 3 places a prize package, and they all get ribbons. And that number 1, first place gets that golden scissors trophy that we always give out. And so that'll be happening, and that's going to be fun. And then if you just participate in the show and watch it, one person's going to walk away with a $25,000 prize package, a Dream Studio giveaway that we're doing. And that's going to be pretty awesome. So, and even if you get in the top 5, we're going to actually pick a finalist each day to get in for the big drawing. One of those that you walk away with a sewing machine. So it's a pretty good thing, isn't it, Kennedy? Mm-hmm. It's going to be a pretty fun time, and we're super excited about that and can't wait for that to happen. And we are working on so many things right now. We've got a lot of different events and shows coming up, and we'll keep you informed of that. Now, the next 3 Thursdays, you're going to have a special guest host here. I'm going to be traveling. I won't be here. We've got Jane Klaus coming in, and she's going to be the host for the next 3 Thursdays in a row. Or I think, no, not 3 in a row. I think I'm here the 15th because we've got the total control. I'll be on the 15th. We won't be having a show. We won't be having our regular show on that Thursday. We're going to be having that Floriani event. So I will be here for that. But Jane will be here for the 8th, which is the 22nd, the 29th. She'll be the host. And the 8th, next Thursday, she's going to actually bring in, we're going to have R&K in here talking about the Floriani. And we're going to have Lori LaGrange. So everybody get a chance to see Lori LaGrange. She's going to be here, and they're going to talk a little bit about what you're going to see if you sign up for the Total Control Summit. And Jane will be here. So, and then I know who's going to be here on the 29th already. Sarah Vetzer. Sarah Vetzer is going to be the guest on the 29th, and her and Jane will be talking about, we're going to highlight that Brother 3550W. And Sarah's going to do some stuff to that. Sarah's a brother educator. And so we know that show. Now, the 22nd, we haven't got it nailed down, but we've got a couple of things that we're working on. And so y'all make sure y'all tune in and support Jane. And it'll be a lot of fun. As you know, she's a hoot to be around, and always that positive energy. So, all right, are y'all ready to get started today? So I am super excited today because this is our finale of the Grace event. And we got Jana Matthews in, we got Sabrina in, and she has been the star of the video every day. So let's welcome Sabrina and Jana to the show.
Hi, Blaine. Hello.
Hey, how are y'all doing?
I'm great. I'm here with Sabrina Hudson. She was our educator on these videos. And so we're going to talk about, so get your questions. As you've been watching the last couple of days, if you've got some questions like, okay, why was that a decision, or why this, or whatever about the quilt, this is the time to ask those. So after the video, we're going to have that. So get those questions ready.
Well, Sabrina, everybody, you were a huge hit. Everybody loved watching it, and even though we sped up the video to make it a little faster, it was still very entertaining. And I kept seeing people making comments that it's just mesmerizing watching it spit out. And so you did a great job on that, and we're super excited to watch today's video, the finale. You get it finally put together, and I know Jana, today we're going to talk all about True Cut products, and everybody loves the True Cut, and Sabrina highlighted that in her video when she was doing all of her cuts with the rotary cutter. So we're gonna let y'all take it away, get going, and we'll be back here at the end, and we'll tell them all the great prizes prices and prizes that we're gonna give away today.
Okay, great, thanks Blaine. Yeah, so we're gonna have the finale of our video today, right, where you get to bind it.
Yes.
And then we're gonna come back and talk about True Cut and some other tools that help us get to where quilting isn't, the cutting part of quilting isn't the worst part, but I'm really excited. So just really quick for everybody as we're gonna get started watching this video, what was your favorite part of making it so far?
Binding it.
I
love hand binding. It's my favorite thing in the world.
And that's today's video. So, okay, well, we're gonna watch that video and we'll see you right after.
Now that we've finished our quilt top, it's time to square it up and trim our edges. We gotta get rid of all this extra backing and make it ready to bind. So the first thing I'm gonna do is lay my quilt out and grab my rotary cutter. And we're just going to get it as close to the edge as possible and trim. And we'll scoot it along as close as you can to lining up. It's okay if you cut off a little bit of your quilt top. You can see where I kind of messed up on trimming or on that corner, but it doesn't matter. It's a little bit scrunched up. We're just gonna cut it off. We'll trim this last little bit here. And this process is made simple just with our extra long ruler and a big mat. You end up with the perfect project, and it doesn't matter if you lose a little bit of your quilt top, because it's okay. It'll still turn out beautiful. And we're just using our True Cut straight cut cutter and our True Cut 24.5-inch ruler. Okay. All right. Now that we've done that, we're ready to make our binding. And I thought it would be fun, since we have a jelly roll, to make some Franken binding. Kind of looks a little bit scrappy, but it's very fun. So we have our jelly roll, and what I'm gonna do is pull a couple of fabrics that are similar to each other. So we have some red, there's a fun white and blue one, green one, and there should be a blue one. Yep. What I'm gonna do is take these and cut them into 12-inch pieces, and then we'll sew them all together and it'll be perfect. And I think I'm gonna add one extra green because I'd rather be safe than sorry. We'll lay these out, make sure we iron our crease out. We can stack these up on top of each other to make it nice and easy. Okay, so we'll use our big ruler here to trim off the selvage. So we've got our 12-inch mark. Pretty darn perfect there. All right, so we'll trim these down to 12 inches each. That way it gives it an even scrappier look than normal, and it ties all of the colors together into one cohesive binding. And our leftover pieces can be used for another project. What we're gonna do is create a pattern. So I think we should go, let's see, blue, green, white, green, red. And we'll do the same thing here. So we'll go blue, green, white, green, red. And we'll do the same thing for our last one, blue, green, white, green, red. And what we'll do is we'll chain piece all of these together. So let's head on over to our little rebel. And same as we do for all binding, what we're gonna do here is lay out our pieces like so, match up our ends, and sew at a diagonal here. Since we're doing binding, it's very helpful to have our extension table. So we'll set this up. And lift up our foot and make sure our needle is up, and it will slide right onto the machine. Now we're ready to sew our binding strips together. So with your needle threaded and your bobbin pulled up, we can start to sew. And we'll lay our pieces right sides together at an angle. And we'll go from here. What we can do is flip this right around and add our next piece. Make sure your center lines are marked or lined up here, and then we'll just keep chain piecing these all together. Almost got all of our strips sewn together. All right, now that we're down to our last piece, we'll get this all sewn up. Make sure we're giving slack between 7 and 8. And now we're ready to trim our binding pieces. So, the easiest way that I have found to do this is to make sure that your pieces are all separated here and that they're in one big strip. Now that we have our binding strip all pieced together, we're just going to trim off our tails at 1/4 inch. So make sure you line your edge up with your seam. So you've got 1/4 inch. And we can go through each one of these. All right, now we can take our scraps, throw them in the scrap drawer, and we're ready to iron. So we've got our pieces here, and we are going to press our seams open to make for ease as we press the rest of this. So once we have our seams pressed open, since we're on the last one here, the next step is going to be to fold your strips in half. So we'll go back the other direction, and we're just going to fold these right in half like so. And because we're using 2.5 inch strips and we're not doing a typical 1/4 inch binding, I have found that I really like to do your regular binding method instead of doing the bias tape. It just makes it easier, and it gives you a little bit of extra wiggle room on your quilt back as you sew it on. So we're just going to do the fold in half once instead of the other method. And it also saves time, quite a bit of it. So anything we can do as quilters to be more efficient is going to be better. This binding is already turning out great. It's so much fun. All right, now that we have our binding ironed here, we'll just get that last little bit pressed. We're ready to attach it to our quilt. So we'll start and pull this guy back up. We're gonna start in the middle of one side here. And let's see, if we do some quick math, this binding is 1 1/4 inches. So if we divide that by 3, we'll get 5/8. So what I'm going to do is stitch the binding on, and I have my 1/4 inch foot, but if we go here off of this edge instead of this little edge, that will give us just enough room to make our binding perfect. Back stitch just a little bit, and we can sew. And just make sure your edges are all lined up. All right. And the little Rebel handles binding fabulous. It's a breeze to go through all the layers of fabric. Because it is a piecing and quilting machine, it makes it so much easier. All right, we're coming up to our first mitered corner. So what I'm going to do is make sure our needle is down, pivot, and sew off the edge here to that corner. And what we'll do is lift it up here, and I'm going to use this edge of our table as a guide. So we're going to lift it up, line it up on the edge here, and make sure it goes continuous off for just a minute. Finger press and tack it back down. And that will get us our mitered corner. We'll put it back under the machine. And away we go. Coming up on our third corner here. And we'll just need to pivot and sew off the edge. Line it up on that straight edge. If you have an ironing board with a line on it, it makes it easy. If you're at that station, you can just press it really quick, or you can finger press, which works great. We'll bring it back down. Now we're going to talk about what to do if you don't give yourself enough binding. We're just going to have to add to it. We'll take our scraps and we're going to make a couple shorter pieces, and we'll just cut off our selvage. We'll use our big ruler and a rotary cutter, trim that up really fast, and we'll make one last swatch. We'll double check our pattern. Let's see. After red comes blue. Let's see, we've got blue, then green, then white, then green, then red. We'll sew these together and then we'll attach it to our binding. And because these pieces are a little bit smaller, it's going to be tricky. So we can't chain piece them, but we can just give ourselves some slack and trim every time we do it. we'll take and trim off our ends really fast. Get our trusty rotary cutter, trim off that 1/4 inch. All right, let's press our seams really fast, and then we'll attach it to our binding on the quilt. Okay, so we'll take our red piece here, open that up, lay our blue piece right sides together, and away we go. And we'll trim that right back up. Press our seam open, and then fold our binding in half. All right, so we'll just press that in half here. And we'll take it back over to our machine and resume sewing on our binding. Make sure you back stitch a couple stitches as we go in here. As we come to our corner, make sure we pivot, lock that down, and we'll use our handy dandy extension table here, line it up, and bring your binding back down. And then we'll come down just a little bit. All right. right, and we're gonna back up just a hair. And let's lift this guy up, trim it, tuck our thread back under. So now I like continuous binding. I think it looks better, it gives you a cleaner edge than having the binding fold in itself. So what we're gonna do is bring our binding edges down and we're gonna overlap them. So we'll put this guy open and this guy open on top here. We'll double check to make sure that once we fold it, that it'll be correct, which it will. And we will just sew down this edge here. But before we do that, so now that we have our two pieces on the end of our binding, what we're going to do is line them up like so. And we're going to take our extra piece, because we know that our selvage is 2.5 inches, which is the width of our binding. And we'll take that piece and we're just going to trim up. And I don't want to go seam over seam, so I'm going to trim my blue a little bit and my red. So what we'll do here is mark that there, and I'm going to grab my big scissors because we're going to cut both layers. You can't see it. It's camera one. Is that better? Okay. Where's my big scissors at? All right, let me grab. Is that a good, better shot? Can you? Okay, so we're going to take our selvage piece, and that is going to give us our 2.5 inch measurement. And we've got it pretty darn close, so what we're going to do is just trim that a hair, like so.
Hi everybody. Sorry about that technical difficulties. We had the wrong video link on there, so it has the camera angle from what we pre-recorded. So everybody's saying, hey, can you change the camera? It was a pre-recorded thing, we couldn't change the camera. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the end of that video, the whole entire video, over to SMP so they can load it on their YouTube so you can see that a little bit better. But we thought what would be better is just to come back and we can see the finished quilt and we could talk about it a little bit more. So Sabrina, I am so excited to see this.
Oh, me too. This is one of my favorite ones I've done recently. So we have here, I'll hold it up this way.
Ooh,
so this is the
so
front.
Fun.
And that scrappy binding is really just perfect.
That is so cool how it draws your eye to all the different colors directly.
It does. It complements everything very well. And then I'll show the back here.
Oh yes, because you did two different things yesterday. If you didn't get a chance to watch the video, the first day was with the Little Rebel, and then the second was with the machine quilting it. And so she did a couple of different, you can see in there, all those different types of quilting techniques before she went to the main straight line with your channel locks.
And I just did straight line quilting for the rest of it for ease. So the straight line quilting is my favorite look. It highlights the blocks, the piecing, and it doesn't detract from your quilt. So
It doesn't. I just love it. It's such a cute quilt. I love that, you know, you could go in and get coordinated fabric, but we talked about this yesterday as well. It's like you don't have to go and buy new fabric. If you've got stuff that you can use, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's perfect colors, or think that, oh, I have to only use colors that were purchased in a jelly roll together.
Exactly. I'm a lazy quilter, so I did use a jelly roll, and that's what I used for the binding as well. I saw a lot of comments asking how I cut my binding. It's literally just straight from the same jelly roll as everything else.
And we had some questions too about the pattern. We'll get the pattern in the future. We don't have it loaded just yet, so we're working on that to get that available. So if you want to make this 9-piece quilt, you'll be able to do that as well. But one of the things that people were talking about was they couldn't see very well the stitching. So you stitch the front with the machine,
Yes.
and then the back is hand stitched. I don't know if you can see that there's that longer stitch along there from the hand stitching.
So yeah, this is so instead of doing an invisible hand stitch, I did do this chunky binding with the embroidery floss, and it gives it kind of a homey feel. So this is one of my favorite methods to bind because it's faster than doing it by hand. It's just very simple, but I don't know if you guys can see that little.
Yeah, I think that and I like that it comes up with the line binding as well, right? It ties it all together.
Yes.
So that you can see that, and then it has that chunky binding.
And then on the front, you can't even see it. So it's perfect. There's no extra seams or anything there.
That's so fun. Thank you so much for this project. I really appreciate the opportunity that we can see this and everybody can quilt along per se, you know, with the quilts in the future. One question we did have too was someone was asking as you were binding, how did you line up with the Little Rebel? Now, day one, we in the video, Sabrina was using the Little Rebel to quilt. So a couple of questions that came up: how many stitches per minute? And it's 1700. Then they asked about the lines, how did you measure it? And so we're going to show that table and the lines that line up next to your machine so that you can easily get that lined up.
So I'll put this here. So with the extension table, there are lines on your machine, on the little stitch plate, that line up perfectly with this. So I know it used to be that you had to quilt with draw your lines by hand, use a chalk pencil or erasable ink. Like I said, I am a lazy quilter. I don't do any of that. So the line here is your perfect center line, and you line up your corner with that center line, and it will be perfect all the way across, and then you can cut a 1/4 inch across.
I love that. That's so helpful as you're sewing and piecing and everything like that.
Yes.
So the other things that we talked about in when she was piecing and she was getting ready to make the top was true cut. So now that you've had so much fun, I was laughing so hard when you were using that first 9.5 inch square and you were measuring it up. I noticed that I was like, wait, I know Sabrina's right-handed, and she had taken the straight cutter and put it in her left hand and was trimming on the left side as well as the right side. I was like, what? That's amazing.
So I'm actually left-handed.
There you go. Okay.
But because the right-handed society has forced me into right-handedness, I can cut from both sides of the ruler, and that's the nice part about True Cut is you can just flip and it's not an issue no matter what side you're cutting on.
Yeah, these straight cutters, right-handed, left-handed, is the ability to do both. All our rulers and cutters have the track and guide system. So you can see that as I'm going along here, that track sits right on there, and it's going to go right to the end. When I'm quilting and cutting fabric, I'm a veer off. I make these little tails, and then I've got to cut it again and do different things. It's terrible. With True Cut, I can just go right to the end and not have to worry about it. But I want to talk a little bit about the left hand as well with the comfort cutters. They come right-handed set up, but if you are left-handed, which I found out Sabrina's left-handed, because she did right-handed so much, you can switch it over easily. So I'm going to pop off the blade and guide, and I'm going to put that right here. I'm going to pull off this guide right here and then this one. So these just slide out, and now I'm going to push this here, put this one back in, and then pop it on, and then I'm set to be left-handed. So everything's easily switched back and forth. So if you have both left-handed, right people in your quilt room. You know, if you're going to a guild meeting, you can easily switch it back and forth for whichever one we're doing. Now, True Cut, when we came out with True Cut, our owner said, what is the thing that people have the worst time with quilting? And everybody said, cutting. It takes so much time, you're having issues, and so that's how we came up with the True Cut. So I want to go over some of the pieces that we have. So let's talk about our rulers first. Our little baby ruler, 3x8, but this one's great to use not only with True Cut, but also on your machine, right?
Yes, I use it on my long arm all the time.
Right, so, and it comes in the Quilt Perfect ruler kit for your machine, or if you're ready to use it separately, we've got it separate. We have then a 3x18 ruler. You can see here the length on that. That one's great, nice and long, but when you're only doing 3 inches that way. And then we have our 6.5 by 12.5. I love this one. This one's great for just regular everyday cutting. And then we saw you using this at the end for those strips.
Yes.
6.5 by 24.5. So all of these have that lip on the edge for the guide system. But say you've got your own cutter and you like to use it, you can also use them as well. It'll just go flush against there. You can see right there. Yeah. Your cutters just go flush. They don't go into the guide system. But you can still use these rulers because they've got lots of other fun stuff in them, right? We've got, these are injected molded plastic. And so because of that, we have all these holes in here. And people ask me all the time, why do you have a hole in your ruler? Why isn't it just like all the others? Well, one, having the hole makes it flexible. I know, less plastic makes it flexible. It's gonna be less apt to chip and break if you're dropping it. And then, I don't know if you can see from there, but there's like these little markings. So we've got our 1/4 inch, we've got our 1/2 inch, we've got our 3/4 inch. So you can lay that down and mark it as you're going along, which is super helpful with a lot of reasons, yeah.
It also lines up on the cutting mat perfectly in the squares, so you know if you're going to be accurate.
And we have 3 different sizes of cutting mats. We have the 12 by 18 here, but you also have an 18 by 24 and 24 by 36. So whichever space you have available, that's really helpful for these mats. Are 5-ply, they're double-sided, they have the bias linings on them, the lengthwise grain, all those things that help it get to where you need to be. Other rulers, we saw you using the 9.5 square.
Yes.
But there's also a 6.5 square, so you can see the difference in there, and a 12 square. I love this 12 square. I've used it before on a quilt project, and it's really fun. And then for our last rulers, we have a bunch of triangle rulers. We've got our right angle, so you've got that wonderful right angle there. Then we've got the 60-degree ruler. That one's fun. And then we have the kite, which has your 60 degree, it has your right angle, and then it has your 120 degrees. So this one's like an all-around useful one. I saw someone use this kite ruler in a quilt. They just made kites. And I was like, that's the best for this ruler, that it just had like these fun appliques all over the top of it. Now let's talk about cutters. So those are our rulers, and they can work with your cutters or our cutters, right? But they've all got the track and guide system on there. I'm just going to move to this side because I want to talk about this cutter, the circle cutter. Now, the circle cutter is designed to cut circles from 2 inches all the way up to 12.5. You turn this middle section, and on the back part, I'm going to see if I can kind of push that down. There's a little pokey thing that goes into the fabric and the cutter, so you can put that for your middle. So if you're cutting a 5 inch, or you're cutting a 6 inch, you solidify it. There's a little red dot here that tells you where you're going for which ruler, and then you're going to spin it around as you're cutting, and it gets you those perfect circles.
The nice part is you don't have to just cut circles. You can also cut drunkard's path with them.
Yes. I've also seen people do hoops with them. So they they leave it in the middle, and then they extend it and get a little bit bigger, and then they have a hoop. Carla did a retro circle quilt that was really fun.
Yes.
So cutter, circle cutter. And then we've got our straight cutters, like Sabrina was saying. These can be used left or right-handed. I love the versatility of them, but my favorite thing about them is that they are magnetized. So if you're changing out your blade and you put it away and you get your new blade. All you have to do is get close and it's gonna pop in there, and then you can put your guide on, snap that in, and you're ready to go. So you really don't have to touch those blades.
It's just so nice. I don't know how many times I've cut myself changing blades.
Well, and that's the nice thing about the track and guide system. I'm the veer off, right? Like I talked about that, but I've seen so many people go this way and they've gotten tips cut, or they crack their rulers or different things. That track and guide system really helps you get where you don't need to have any injuries. Our other comfort cutters we have in the 3 different sizes. So again, the 60, we have both of those in the straight and in the circle, and you can see the 2 different guides here, right? This guide is for when you're using your own rulers that may not have the track and guide, and this one's designed with our track and guide system. It's got that guide in there. So 60, 45, and 28 cutters. Now I want to show this tri-wing design. Now people will ask all the time, can I use other blades in your cutters? Yes, so this is the tri-wing design. You can see those 3 little knobs in there. They're designed so that as it's spinning, it'll catch. So that's really important when you're using a blade on our cutters and also our sharpeners. So you can get, this is 2 different sharpeners we have. We have our electric sharpener, and then we have our linear sharpener. The electric sharpener only works with that tri-wing design, and so you can get, again, that tri-wing has to catch on this little circle here, and I always mark my blade. So what I'll do is I'll take the blade and I'll take a Sharpie and just do it in 3 sections on the front and the back, put it in, shut it for about 15 seconds, open it up, and then flip it over and check to see, is that black marker there? If it's not, then I'll do it again for another 15 seconds so that I can tell if it's really, because some people are like, we had one person say, well, your cutter doesn't work, or I mean, your sharpener doesn't work. I said, well, how long are you running it for? And they said, I'm running it for 2 minutes, and then I flip it over and I ran it for another 2 minutes, and that's too long for your cutter typically, or your blade typically. Your blade can only be sharpened when you have this beveled edge. So if you don't have the beveled edge anymore, you're going to be hard to use that as much because you can't sharpen it past that amount. Have you had a chance to use the electric sharpener very much?
I have not. I've used the straight one, but I have not used the electric one yet.
The linear, yeah. So the linear is great. Now, the electric sharpener only works with the tri-wing design, so the ones that go on our blades. But if you have a different kind of cutter, you can use this linear sharpener. There's a stone on the side, a diamond stone, and so as your blade goes in, I'm going to demonstrate it here for you. You're going to run it up and down, and it's going to sharpen that blade as long as you're keeping it straight. Now, if I put this down and I angle it, right, that's going to be away from the blade, and I'm not going to get enough of the blade connected to the stone.
Yeah.
If I go too close to it, then I can just dull it. So straight up and down, back and forth, and then you want to turn it around because that blade was only sharpening on this side, and now it can sharpen this side. So just like here, how we flipped it up and down, we want to make sure that we're getting that way with it. So you've used this one. How was it when you were using it?
I liked it. I mean,
Yeah?
I had never done it before, and so I had someone from our sales team show me how to use it, and it was so nice to have a sharp blade again. I mean, I do a lot of cutting working here, and so it ends up being that I have to swap my blades out constantly, and I was getting tired of it. So I talked to the sales team, and they were like, yeah, use the sharpener. And it's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, and the nice thing is you can just keep it, it's got these nice rubber grips on here. You can keep it on the side of your cutting table, on your whatever you've got it. And so it's just one of those, oh, I've got a little flat spot or something, go back and forth through it, and then it'll get going through there. So now we've had some questions, I think, come up. Somebody was asking about how to use things. I think one of the questions was like, how do we use this to make
Cut
the other shapes? Yeah. So I think what we'll have to do is we'll have to come back and show that, because I don't have any fabric right here to show that. So we'll have to come back another time for SMP and show all the different ways you can use the 360 circle cutter, which I think will be super fun.
Yes.
But we've got some specials going on. I know with Blaine that they've got set, and We talked about the giveaways, but someone asked how many times can you sharpen a blade, and that depends on the quality of the blade. So if you have, ours are an SK7 steel, it's a high quality steel, so you can sharpen it a little bit longer than something that's a little bit thinner. But again, like I was saying, that beveled edge, once it's gone, you can't sharpen it anymore. And it depends on how much you are using it in the electric sharpener or on the linear. If you're rubbing it through and it's already sharp, then it's just gonna cause it to wind or grind down just a little bit, and you don't wanna get too far that way. Okay, let's see if there was any other questions we missed. I think we got them all.
I think so too.
And I think we got all the ones about the other quilting stuff. We're gonna get that video loaded up for SMP to put up on YouTube on their site. And then also, if you have any questions you're thinking, well, what about the Little Rebel? Or what about the quilting? Go back and watch day 1, watch day 2. Sabrina goes over all those amazing things, like how big the strips are, how she quilts them together, all those kinds of things. So get a chance to watch those if you hadn't, and it's really helpful getting into this quilt, and then we'll get the pattern so that people can get that ahead of time. So, okay, I think we're ready to see about special prices maybe. I know that there's a code going on down here, the Grace code.
There is a code, Jana. Hey, one real quick question for y'all before we let y'all get out of here. You know, I know, Jana, on the True Cut, the electric sharpener in particular, I know that you can only use certain blades in that, correct?
Yes, you can only use the ones that have that tri-wing design. If it has just a circle, it will just spin and not sharpen it. So the tri-wing, when it has those little nods, gets caught or catches so that it goes on that stone and gets sharpened. But if it has a circle, it'll just spin and you'll be frustrated. So if you have a cutter that has a circle in it, leave it in your cutter, and then you can use it on the linear sharpener. That can use any of them because you're leaving it in the cutter, not taking it out and put it in the electric sharpener.
Yeah, I want to just make sure we address that, because we've had people before that bought the electric cutter and they used some of their old blades they had from another cutter, and it wouldn't sharpen. They were saying, oh, it doesn't sharpen it. Well, it's what it's doing. It's spinning. It's slipping. It's not sharpening.
Yeah, it doesn't catch on those stones. Yeah. So this one is only if you've got the tri-wing design, and this one can do both tri-wing and the other kind.
Exactly. Okay. Well, awesome. Well, thank y'all so much. This has been great. A great 3 days. And Sabrina, thank you so much as well. Everybody loved what you did with the quilt, and you made it look extremely easy. And so that's what it's all about, is showing people that it's really not that difficult. They just have to get in there and do it. So,
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you.
So, well, guys, we got a special giveaway we're giving away. We're not even going to tell them what it is. We're just going to do a giveaway today and surprise them with what we're giving away. And we got some specials we're going to talk about. So thank y'all so much, and we'll see y'all again real soon, okay?
Thanks, Blaine. Thank you so much.
All righty. All right, so today we have got some special stuff. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the True Cut systems. Now, if you are interested in True Cut, you can go right now to our website, SewingMachinesPlus.com. Up in the search bar at the top of the page, just put True Cut in. Right, type the word True Cut. It'll take you to the product page, and Kennedy's showing it to you right there. That's the product page of all the True Cut things. Now, we have a lot of different things available for you, a ton of different packages and things. You can get replacement blades. You can get just one rotary cutter. You can get the rulers, all those things. Today, if you put the word GRACE, Grace, in at checkout for your promo code, it's going to save you 15% off all the True Cut products. So this would be the time, if you're really looking for some new rotary cutters, some rulers and things like that, this will be the time to get it. 15% discount is huge on this stuff. And we have several packages that you can get, that you get a bunch of different rulers. You get the rotary cutter. Look, there's one right there that Kennedy's showing. So great package today, 15% off. This would be an incredible time to get it. Not only do we have 15% off all the True Cut products, but this week we've shown the 16 Elite, the 19 Elite, and the 21 Elite. All the long arm quilting machines, they're all 15% off. And right now we have great packages with them. They come free with a frame, and a $1,000 accessory pack is going to come with it as well. And you're going to get the 15% off the top of that. The other product that we showed was the Little Rebel. And, you know, we showed that on day one, but Sabrina used that all 3 days. And Little Rebel is a brand new machine. It is a great, great machine. And again, right there, you see it, $26.99. You're getting a $1,000 accessory pack with this. Plus, we're going to give you that coupon code. You're going to save 15% off that $26.99. So give us a call right now for any of the products you saw on the show that you want to take a look at all 3 days with all the products that were shown. Give us a call at 800-401-8151. We have some special financing available, and naturally, we're going to ship everything you saw on the show today absolutely free right to your doorstep nationwide. So great package today, great sales, you know, for this show, but it is giveaway time, Kennedy. And we've got, you know, some really good things to give away today. But before I give anything away, I want to know right now in the chat, if you watched only day one, or I won't even say that, if you've only watched one of the days, if you got to see one of the days, put a number 1 in the chat right now. If you watched 2 of the days, put a number 2. And if you were here all 3 days and watch them, put a number 3 in the chat right now. Okay? So how's it looking, Kennedy? We got some chats coming in?
We got some 1s, but we also got a lot of 5, or a lot of 3s.
A lot of 3s?
Yes.
Well, you know what I'm going to do? Kennedy, spin that wheel.
Okay.
And this is for the number 3s. All you people that watched all 3 days, I'm going to give one of y'all a $100 gift card to Sewing Machines Plus. And the winner is
Monique Khan.
Monique Khan is our winner. Congratulations, Monique. You just won yourself a $100 gift card to Sewing Machines Plus for watching all 3 days. We sure do appreciate it. So, Monique, how you're going to claim that prize is you're going to go to smplive.tv. You're going to scroll down toward the bottom of that page, and where it says claim my prize, you're going to fill all that information out completely, hit submit, and what we're going to do, we're going to email you back a gift card code that you'll be able to use at checkout to save yourself $100 off your purchase.
Woo-hoo.
So see, you actually get rewarded
Yes.
if you watch all of our shows. All right, next up, we are going to give away one of our event bags, and there's a pack of 8 that we're going to give away. Now here, everybody that's watching right now, all you have to do is just basically type in bags, BAGS, in the chat right now for a chance to win these. These come in 8 different colors. They're $49.99 for the pack of 8. They all have unique sayings on one side of the bag, SMP on the other side. And again, everybody loves these things. This is their where they keep their stash of fabric, and some people even use them to go to the grocery store. Mm-hmm. So great bags. We love these things, and you see all the great colors there. So Kennedy, spin that wheel.
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Roxana Sexton. Woo! Roxana Sexton is our winner. Congratulations, Roxana. And she is watching today from YouTube. Roxana, to claim those bags, we need to go to smplive.tv. Scroll down toward the bottom of the page where it says claim my prize, fill out all the information to submit, and we will get your bag right out to you. All right, next up, we are going to give away one of our world famous sewing mats. So right now in the chat, type in mat, M-A-T, 3 letters, M-A-T. Now, I always say this, if you don't have one of these mats yet, you're doing your machine a disservice. Break down and buy yourself a mat for your sewing machine or serger, and I'm telling you what it'll do. It's going to reduce the vibration that your machine creates going to the electronics and transfers that vibration, and that'll cut that out. It'll make your machine last longer because you're spending a lot of money on these, electronic machines. It also protects the surface that it sits on. It's not going to let the machine slide around, and it dampens the sound of it too. So it's very useful to keep them, take care of them. You can just take a damp cloth and wipe them down if you get some little dirt on them. And I know Kennedy even uses hers as a pin cushion.
Yes.
Sticks her pins in it.
Like it doesn't have, you put the pins
bends and it doesn't bring any damage to it. It's like a
Yeah.
self-healing cutting mat.
So these range from $29 all the way up to $49. They come in 13 different colors, 4 sizes in each color. If you want to see the dimensions of the sizes, you can just go to smplive.tv. Kennedy has that thumbnail, the Sew Match. You can click on it, and it'll take you to the product page. Or if you're on SewingMachinesPlus.com website, you can just type in the search bar Sew Mats, and it'll take you right there to the page. All right, Kennedy, spin that wheel.
Let's do it.
All right, Mary Gallant.
Woohoo!
So Mary, congratulations. Mary, to claim that prize, you need to go to smplive.tv. Scroll down toward the bottom of the page where it says claim my prize, fill out all that information complete. And most importantly on this giveaway, there's a little note section. Type in the color of sew mat that you want and the size you want. And as soon as we get that information, we'll ship it right out to you. All right, next up is our grand prize winning giveaway. This is a good one. I mean, this is a really good one.
Yeah, no one's gonna know until after.
Yeah, this has, I'm just gonna tell them how much. Or should I even tell them? Kennedy, what do you think?
I mean, I think client, like how much it's worth.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think you should.
$3,000.
Yeah, okay.
This is a $3,000 prize today.
32.
$3,200.
$3,248 to be exact.
This is a great prize, all for watching our show. What do y'all think about that? So, what I need you to do, if you want a chance to win this incredible prize today, in the search bar right now, type in
What is the magic word?
Rebel.
Oh my goodness.
What do y'all think? Rebel.
Just like this.
Just like that.
Just like this.
Kennedy.
Well, let's give them just a little. They're freaking out in the comments real quick.
$3,249 prize package today.
Woo!
This
All
is
right.
this is a big one.
They're coming in.
This is a very big one. And all you have to do is type in Rebel, R-E-B-E-L.
All right. Ready whenever you are.
Spin that wheel.
Woo!
And I'm going to tell you what you're going to win. You're going to win a little Rebel and a cutie frame.
Yes.
What do y'all think about that? Here we go.
And
That's
the
it.
winner is
Vicki Wagner. Congratulations, Vicki. She is watching today from YouTube. Put that back up there again, Kennedy, what she's
Yes.
winning. Vicki, this is what you're winning. You're winning the Little Rebel and the Cutie Breeze frame, $3,248 prize package today. So, Vicki, this is how you're going to claim your prize. You're going to go to smplive.tv. Scroll down toward the bottom of the page where it says claim my prize, fill out all that information complete, hit submit, and once we get that information, we are going to actually ship your machine and frame to you absolutely free right to your doorstep.
And Vicki says she can't breathe.
Take a big deep breath, Vicki. A big
Where's
deep
your
breath.
comment? Oh my goodness. There she is.
All right. Hey, Vicki, nice deep breaths.
Yes.
Nice deep breaths.
In through the nose, out through the mouth.
Well, this was an awesome prize, and got to say a big shout out. Thanks to Grace for coming on these 3 days with us. We've had so many. We had Melinda Romero, we had Jana Matthews, we had Mark Martin, and then we had the star of the show, Sabrina. I don't even know Sabrina's last name.
Hudson, I believe.
Hudson?
Yes.
Okay, Sabrina Hudson. So Sabrina was a star of the show. Great videos that she did. And so if y'all didn't get this chance to watch day 1 or day 2, I encourage y'all to go back and watch those days. Very entertaining. And somebody said on the chat, Kennedy, they said it was mesmerizing watching the sewing. And it really is.
Yeah.
It's kind of relaxing. I would have never thought that. But, it's just like watching it, especially when we speed the video up a little bit. It's pretty cool to watch it.
Yeah.
So all the different steps. But I encourage y'all to go to see that. Again, want to remind y'all next Thursday, Jane Klaus will be here. She's going to be our host. And we have Lori LaGrange is going to be here from R&K, and they're going to talk all about some Floriani stuff. and we're gonna have some specials on that as well. And then remember, we're not gonna have a show on the 15th or the 14th, whatever the date is.
I believe it's the 15th.
15th, yeah, the 15th. But the 14th, 15th, and 16th, we're gonna be having our R&K event. And it's the Total Control Summit. So if you haven't signed up for that, I encourage you to go to sign up. It is a great event. It's $199 to do it. You're going to get a great swag bag full of goodies we're going to ship out to you. And you'll get to see Lori LaGrange 2 days on that, Trevor Kunkergood on the first day. And they're going to talk all about digitizing, which if you're doing embroidery or quilting, this is good. Something that you can use. And we're going to have some great specials. Also, if you sign up, we're going to email you some really good specials on some software that you can get purchased as well. And the only way you're going to get those discounts is if you are signed up for the event. So it's going to be a great time. So that's what's coming up. So next week, y'all make sure you tune in, and then I won't see everybody till it'll all be in September.
The
So
20th
it'll be a while.
of
So I'm not going to see
September.
any of y'all unless you're going to the live event that we're going to do. I won't see you till September. So, but we got you covered. We got Jane Klaus is going to take my place, and we've got a lot of good shows coming up. So anyway, hope y'all have a great rest of your day. Have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see y'all later.
Bye.